Well, good evening, Saginaw, and welcome to another edition of Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen. I am your host, Kareem Bowen. I'm so glad to be with you all on today. Unfortunately, because of COVID-19, they got your brother man down. We got a code red situation. They finally got me. They got me, y'all. But I was tested positive for COVID on Friday, and this is really quite amazing because I have been COVID-free, not having any issues or concerns throughout my entire time. And so it's exciting to be safe and to be clean. That's why I'm telling y'all that's out there. You guys, you gotta go out there and get those vaccinations. I am fully vaccinated. And I have received my booster. And therefore, I am absolutely without symptoms at this moment. And I think that this is a great way and a great testament. For so long, I have been sharing with the community. Let's make sure that we are protected from this virus, this variant that's out there. I want you guys to do me a favor. I want you to like, tag, and share this particular conversation. We're going to get a recap on our conversation last week with Kiera Sanders and her family trying to receive her things. We're going to give you an update on that. We got a great show planned out for you here today. We're going to talk a little bit about what's happening in the world around us. We're going to talk about population growth and affordable housing. We're going to get to the bottom of that. But first, before we do any of those things, I want to give a shout out to my main man, the Rob Father. Rob, what's going on in your world?
How's it going, everybody? Happy to be here.
Man, your energy sounds low, Rob. I need you to pull that on up 1,000.
I said I'm happy to be here. And I'm sorry that you're not in studio, but I hope you recover soon from that thing that's going around.
That thing, that's right. Well, this is the amazing thing about technology. Y'all know I got my stunner shades on because our future is looking so bright. I'm excited no matter what. COVID can't hold a brother down like today. So I want you guys, let's get out there. Let's get vaccinated. Let's get this thing going. We want this thing out of our community. And so, as I said, I have tested positive on, I believe it, I was exposed on Wednesday of last week, tested positive on Friday. Hey, it is what it is, but I'm not having any symptoms. But I have to protect the other people that are around me. I've done some tracing, notified some folks, and doing well without any symptoms. I'm not symptomatic at the moment, and I don't plan to be. So things are going well. We're doing the show here from home. Those of you who are tuning in, what's up on my social media thread? I'm gonna hit y'all up on the other side of our first commercial break. But before we do all of that, I just want to get in to what is on my mind. I know y'all don't mind, right? Y'all don't mind. So we're gonna talk about what's on my mind, okay? And want to first of all start off by acknowledging the loss of a Black iconic actor. Everyone knows Sir Sidney Poitier. We're saying farewell to him. He was an iconic actor. He broke the color barrier in Hollywood, being the first African-American to win an Academy Award. We know that is that golden statue called an Oscar for Best Actor in the film Lilies of the Field in 1963. For those of you who haven't, go back and watch that movie because I actually saw that movie some time ago in black and white when I heard that he was the first Black American to win an Oscar. And in this movie, he plays a handyman by the name of Homer Smith, who stops by a farm while he's traveling in rural Arizona, and he's greeted by a group of Roman Catholic nuns who had immigrated from Germany. And he begins to take on a series of odd jobs in that movie. They were so impressed by Homer's kindness and strength that they thought that maybe he was sent by God to help build them a chapel. It's a very endearing story about overcoming barriers and working together and the power of collaboration. And nominated beside him for that great film was the late actress Lilia Scalas, I think is how her name is pronounced. But he was also known for shows like Heat in the Night that was on TV, even To Serve with Love. And all of you older Americans, those more senior folks like my man Rob, probably remember Guess Who's Coming to Dinner. the famous, the infamous, and the great regarded A Raisin in the Sun, which is adapted from a Broadway play, which is absolutely amazing. Lilies of the Field, The Jackal, all of these great movies, and so many more. Okay. And so one of the quotes that he had, and I want to share this quote because I thought it was very profound when I heard it. It was, in my first experience in front of a camera, my first experiences on stage was a totally dimensional awareness of life. All of what I feel about life, I had to find a way in my work to be faithful to it, respectful of it. I can't play a scene that I don't find texture of humanity in the material. Such a profound, powerful statement from a strong icon in our community. And so that was Sidney Poitier. Rest in power, my man. We love you, we bless you, and you have paved the way for so many more actors and actresses alike. Next, I want to give you guys an update on the situation with Kiera Sanders. Her possessions that were being locked out and held by her landlord. And so we have come to a resolve. I'll have the community know, the village know that you guys have done an amazing job. I spoke with Rhonda Sanders just moments before coming on air today, and she did notify me that the family was able to pick up the last remaining items from the landlord and from the property, and that they had taken care of. So, the rents were returned, security, all the things that a landlord in good standing should have done. So those things have been taken care of. We're able to do some great things as a village. I'm going to tell you what happened. This is the power of the village. Okay. When we stand together, when we realize that there's power in numbers, and we refuse to allow anyone to come into the village and treat any of us with disrespect. And we stand together and we band together. And you guys shared the heck out of that video. You guys were making posts. I know I made a phone call. When you do things of that nature, you are always going to be victorious because we are unstoppable when we work together. My girl, Tressa Galloway, all the way from the D. What's going on, Tressa? I absolutely love you, Rhonda Sanders. When I talk to her on the phone and I'm hearing her, I can hear the texture of a mom. And so I wanted to call her Mom Sanders. We're so glad that things are going so well for you and the family. Much prayers, continued prayers, because this is only the beginning of your healing process. And so we're going to find a way here at Straight Talk to show you some love and just continually let you know that the village is with you. We're rocking with you. And if anything you should need, make sure you reach back out this way. Rob, what is going on? What do you think about the outcome of this particular situation?
Of the Kiera Sanders situation?
Yes.
I haven't been following it, to be honest with you. I just haven't had the time to follow up on it. As a matter of fact, the first I heard about it was on your show last week. But
what do you think about the statement, when the village comes together, we're unstoppable?
Oh, yes, of course. Just a strength and unity in every aspect, and especially in a positive sense. And so I'm happy for Ms. Sanders and the family there that's going to take care of these things and get what they need and what they ask for and what they deserve, in case of for the situation for Kiera's memory.
Absolutely. So you got it. So blessings to you, Ms. Sanders, who I believe is in the stream. We certainly thank you.
Yes,
and Russ D. Williams, God bless you all. We'll be praying for you and the kids and the family as you go, because this is only the beginning of picking up those pieces. All right. So I want to make sure that I had the opportunity on last week. We had Joe Madison, and many of you may not know who Joe Madison is by name. But Joe Madison is a Sirius radio standout. He is an amazing radio standout on Sirius satellite. I think it's channel 162. And on there, he talks about urbans and issues of Black America, urban America. And so he was in town. He did actually a virtual session on Wednesday with the Michigan Banner as a community networking event. But I had the opportunity to sit down with Mr. Madison on last week. We did a one-on-one interview, and we talked about the importance of community networking. And those of you who are listening, we have that community networking event that is scheduled for January the 27th at 6 p.m. And that's going to be here at the city of Saginaw. Right now, I'm going to schedule it and say that tentatively it's going to be at KBS Creative Business Solutions, 296 West Genesee. That is my co-working space. I guess we're going to community network, might do it in the co-working space. But if we need more space based upon people's response, we'll move it to another location. But we're going to come together and we're going to set that urban agenda. And so Mr. Madison was in town. I had an opportunity to speak to him. He said something to me, family, that was so powerful. And I want you guys to listen to this. He said that we are often in our community, we're okay and we're good with having a moment. And, we do some things, we put some things together, we come together, we talk, we collaborate, and we have a moment. And oftentimes we are celebrated and we cool with just having a moment. He says, but we've got to be able to get momentum. And the difference between having a moment and momentum is sacrifice. And so we're going to have to be willing to sacrifice, y'all. Let's begin to roll up our sleeves and make the sacrifice. It's time for us to begin to tackle those big issues such as gun violence, such as poverty, such as equality and equity. Equality and equity are very two different things. Equality means that we all get the same thing, but equity means that they recognize the barriers that come between us being able to utilize the equality that now has been placed at our feet. So we as a community are going to have to band together. We are better together. Somebody said it takes teamwork to make a dream work. And I'm such a believer of that. Once again, the sentencing, I've been like, this is crazy. The sentencing of the murderers of Ahmaud Arbery. We know that Ahmaud Arbery was that young man that was running through his hometown neighborhood, shot down like a deer running through the woods. All three of those men in that case were convicted. Travis and Greg McMichaels getting life in prison without the possibility of parole. And the man, William Roddy Bryan, if I don't even want to call him that dude, he received life in prison with the possibility of parole. We need to understand that they are also, these men won't see the day of light. These men are also going to have to stand for federal hate crimes that are coming up next. And the judge, the Superior Court Justice Timothy Walmsley, said something that was really important. He said Arbery was murdered, and it was a tragedy. He was a young man with dreams gunned down in the community. And I'm a firm believer that when our young men and women die before their time and they lay in the street, that as their blood seeps into the ground, it cries out for justice. It cries out for someone to stand up. It cries out for the future vision and the purpose that has been lost. And so I want to make sure that we begin to do what is necessary for us to stand up for ourselves and make great things happen. All right, Capitol down, Capitol Hill down. We remembered the insurrection just recently. Just a few days ago, January 6th, 2021, our Capitol was besieged by a bunch of terrorists. That's right, I'd said it, terrorists. The man who gets the clown crown, I haven't given that award away in some time, but the clown crown once again goes to number 45. He was our former president, former commander in chief, and he is now running for political office. But you need to understand this. We had an insurrection. An insurrection is when its people begin to revolt against its nation, and that's what took place. We cannot change it. It is what it is, and you cannot rebrand that or recreate history as often as we see so many things try to happen. But it's been over a year now, a year and 3 days since that took place, and there have been hundreds of people that have been charged. But yet the leader of this insurrection is yet poised to take another chance at leading a nation that it tried to overthrow on the first go round. So we got to stay tuned to what's going on. Once again, Joe Madison, the reason for his importance is because he is on a hunger strikes for voting rights. All right. And last week, I just want to recap on our conversation. We talked a little bit, and I'm sure I ruffled some feathers. We talked about population growth, and I told you all that those were two things that we had to consider here in the city of Saginaw, and I'm all for it. There's a lot of ARPA dollars and other governmental monies that are coming in, and the two things that are at the top of my list, other than youth programming, which I think all of these things fall in there together, but population growth and affordable housing. And I told you all that we were in a position here in Saginaw that we're below 50,000 units or residents that are in the community. And I see my lovely guest in the background, Letitia Whitehead. She will be coming on soon from Black Wall Street. They don't see you yet, ma'am, but I'm glad to see that you are in the green room. But I told you all, and I wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that all of this stuff is happening. And the key phrase, affordable housing, I told you that affordable housing was based upon the housing of a community. I shared with you on last week. If you didn't get that information, go back and watch what was on my mind from last week's show. And so I was challenged with the idea. My big mouth gets me in trouble all of the time. But I believe that that's what should happen. When you present a problem, you should also be able to bring a possible solution. It may not work, but you should have something in mind on how you're going to resolve that situation. So I think that one of the things that we have to look at is that whatever comes into that space or whatever we bring into our community in way of housing has to be mixed use so that we can create a dynamic where we have community use and community growth. I've always said for a long time, for us to really have viable housing in the downtown Saginaw area, for it to come alive once again, there has to be an 18-hour use period. That means that the things that someone would use in an 18-hour period must be prevalent and existent in order for that system to take place. That means that we have to have viable restaurants, not just fast food restaurants, not just McDonald's, but places where people can sit and dine and operate and eat. Anything that we need, convenience stores. These are ideas that are necessary, but these are things. If I need needle and thread, I can't drive all the way to Walmart, 10, 6, 5, 6, 7, however many miles it is to go get a needle and thread or get a gallon of milk. So we need convenience stores. We need places that we can run into, get certain items. We need food. We need entertainment. So an 18-hour living is how we're going to be able to develop and to grow that space. I think that it's also going to be very important that we begin to use funds to attack the concept of a poverty mentality. I need you all to understand, and I say this a million times, that poverty is not a place in life, but poverty is a mentality. And the only way to get us out of poverty is that we've got to begin to do something different. And I'm going to bring in my lovely guest for today, Leticia Whitehead, because she is the founder of something called Black Wall Street here in Saginaw. So as we're talking about economic growth and we're talking about building, we're talking about entrepreneurship, this is one of the things that she's a hustle and flow kind of girl. She's getting her grind on, and I greatly appreciate it. So I want to bring her into the stream right now. Leticia, are you there?
Kareem, let's take a break first before we get into that.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Leticia. We'll get a chance to get her in the stream. Y'all stick and stay and don't go away. We'll be back after this commercial with more of Straight Talk.
You're listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
At Culver's, we cook our butter burgers pretty much the same as you would at home. Only the freshest beef will do. We're talking the highest quality 3-cut blend, no shortcuts. Got it? Great. Then you'll need to master your signature press and sear technique. This is crucial. You may want to practice a few thousand times. Add real Wisconsin cheese, because why would you have cheese from anywhere else? Top with a lightly buttered toasted bun. Serve yourself with a big warm smile.
Better yet, come to Culver's and leave the whole cook-to-order butter burger thing to us. Welcome to Delicious.
Why is Culver's such a treat for so many families? Here's a hint. This treat is thick and creamy, and everyone can get it any way they like. Our fresh, frozen custard. We craft it in small batches throughout the day to make our guests stay, using fresh dairy from America's family farms. Shakes, cones, sundaes, concrete mixers, flavor of the day. Oh, and the toppings.
Who says you can't please everyone? There's more than one way to dessert at Culver's. Welcome to Delicious.
Now extended through January 14th, join a clean and spacious Planet Fitness for zero enrollment and only $10 a month. With tons of equipment and free fitness training, it's the perfect place for everybody to work out.
Even me, mister. I'm so stressed I grind my teeth more than most people grind coffee.
Especially you. Give your anxiety-cleansed jaw a rest.
My molars will be so happy.
Start feeling fit-tacular today. Join in club or at planetfitness.com. Zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends January 14th. See club for details.
Macy's one-day sale is going on now with great deals of the day to beat the brr. Like 50 to 60% off coats and jackets for him and for her. And 40 to 65% off the perfect winter boots and shoes. Plus, travel-ready luggage sets are now 65% off. And get contact-free curbside pickup or pickup in store today. Details at Macys.com/pickup. Savings off sale and clearance prices. Exclusions apply.
It's Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
All right, we're back with Straight Talk. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. I'm with me, Letitia Whitehead. Letitia, why don't you say what's up to our Straight Talk listeners?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me, Mr. Bowen.
Hey, man, she was so concerned. I need to be camera ready. Am I going to be on camera? Yes, you are, and you're lovely as ever. We're so glad to have you. Letitia, I want to just, first of all, let's start by you giving some insight as to who you are, where you're from, where do you hail, where do you come from, Letitia?
I am from Saginaw, Michigan. Saginaw, lifelong resident. I just moved back recently, approximately 3 months ago, from a stint in the western side of Michigan. But I'm from Saginaw. Saginaw is home. Love Saginaw. So I'm back, and I currently reside in the Buena Vista area, which is also home to me. So I'm a BV girl, so I'm a Saginawian.
All right. So we were talking before this commercial break, and I was sharing with you all, I was sharing with our listeners about the two things that I think are very important: leaving home, coming back to home. So you see that the numbers are dwindling. So population growth is a key, and the idea of affordable housing. And I'm sure you being, Black Wall Street, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Why don't we start there with Black Wall Street? What is Black Wall Street? Where did it come from? How did you get it started? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Oh my gosh. So let's go back a little bit, because you talk about population decline and Saginaw. That is what made me have to leave Saginaw 8 years ago. Was at the time I worked for Buena Vista School District as a teacher. And a lot of people didn't understand that as those jobs that went away, such as General Motors, a lot of people left. They took their families with them. They took their children with them. And so being that I work for a school district, the district gets paid by how many children are in those seats. And over time, the state had done a trend with our particular school district and saw that we were losing more than 100 kids every year. But our cost was still around the same. So the teachers had taken a pay cut. They were spending just as much money as they had when they had, 400, 500, 600 more students than what they had currently. So that was happening across the state of Michigan and other places too. It wasn't just us, but on that eastern corridor of Michigan, it was happening. So that's kind of what kicked me out of a job based on.
What you say? You didn't leave. You got kicked out of here, huh?
That's right. I got a pink slip on June 7th, 2013. That was my daughter's birthday. I'll never forget it. And I still have that pink slip because it was a reminder of where I was at that moment. And I had to keep that in mind of where God was going to take me. I said, God, you got to keep me strong so that I can continue to have a job and build my career. You know what I mean? So I left.
Okay. Good. So that was the beginning. So you left, and you, what happened from that point?
And at the time, I was building myself up as a photographer. I had started with a vision. I was a teacher, but I knew that I could do more than teach. So I started doing photography, and I was building up my small business that I created. It was Picture This Photography at the time. And I was 3 years into that when everything happened, where I'm like, oh my, I'm not going to have a career. And I really didn't have faith at the time that my photography could hold me or sustain me. So I decided to just, move over. But long story short, moving to the western side of the state, I saw some things that were a lot different from the eastern side of the state. Yeah. There was a little bit more stability. But what was holding the stability over on the western side of the state? There were a lot of small businesses. There were so many different kinds of small businesses. People just owned all kinds of businesses. And African Americans, not as many, but it was prevalent. There was a presence of many African Americans having their own business. But they also had Black Wall Streets, which was a support system. And I remember when I wanted to begin photography on that western side of the state, I had met with some folks and I was like, hey, I don't know very many people. I don't know how I'm going to get this started. And one of them said, hey, just put your stuff in Black Wall Street, Kalamazoo. And I'm like, what? What is that? So they began to tell me about it.
Okay, so when you were looking at it, so Black Wall Street, Kalamazoo, what was it? I mean, okay, let's talk a little bit about Black history, because Black Wall Street, because we're going to give a little historical lesson real quick, if you could. Okay, before there was a Black Wall Street, Saginaw, or Kalamazoo, there was a Black Wall Street in the Greenwood district in Oklahoma. Correct. So share with us, educate the people on what Black Wall Street was.
Black Wall Street was the district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where there were African American shop owners, various businesses along a stretch of the community. They just had their own business, but they supported each other, and it was flourishing. And I want to say at the time, if I remember, that was one of the wealthiest parts of the community. Yes, yep. In the nation. So, and of course, we know what happened. The tragedy that happened with Black Wall Street, but for the most part, they supported each other. That Black dollar was important. They continued to spend that Black dollar within their communities, and then, build wealth. They built a community of wealth. So,
and the reason that's important, you're talking about spending that dollar in Black community, and I say this a lot, is because it has been studied, and the report is that in Black communities, our dollars don't turn over one single time within our community. But if you go to an Asian community, it turns over 7 times before it leaves that Asian community. So Black Wall Street was that entity or the concept or the construct where Black people bought from Black people, they sold to Black people, and then they used that dollar and sold that. So if I got a dollar and I'm the blacksmith, I'm going to use that dollar. I'm going to buy my groceries from the Black grocer. And that Black grocer, if he has to bury somebody, he's going to the Black funeral home to, and so our monies were turning over several times in our community, empowering and building and providing a living for not only one business, but multiple businesses. They thrive because they work together. And Black Wall Street was that district in Greenwood, like you said before, the Tulsa massacres. And I want y'all to know that the most fearful thing to other cultures is Black people who are educated and empowered with the knowledge of their identity and the fact that when they work together that they can do anything. But go ahead, Letitia. So you're going to continue with where you were with Black Wall Street and moving into the Grand Rapids area.
Right. So that community had built a support system virtually for each other, where they could pinpoint where the Black doctors were, hairstylists, mechanics, and various things. So I knew that Saginaw did not have that. Being that when I started my own particular small business here in Saginaw, I was looking for support in helping to grow my business, and I really didn't know where to go. So the concept came from, I said, hey, let me try this virtually for Saginaw to see, and it caught on. Right now it's virtual. Saginaw, Black Wall Street Saginaw is more virtual, where we're a support group. In looking into the future, I would like for it to be more of a group that.
If I can raise my hand, teacher, I don't want to be like, I want to get with you, Letitia, because I think that Black Wall Street could easily function with an office in my co-working space. And if you were interested in having, I would donate a space to Black Wall Street because we're working with entrepreneurs to do the things that you say are important. So go ahead. I caught you off guard. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I was going to say, we were blessed to have an office space donated to us by CMRCU.
Okay, awesome.
For a year's worth of office space. Currently, we started that in November of 2021, and it goes into October 31st of 2022. So in terms of, and that's how we began to start doing some of the workshops like this upcoming Manifest Your Vision workshops. But I would like to connect with others who have expertise outside of myself in the areas of financials, starting businesses, business 101, or whatever the people need to continue to develop their business, starting from an idea, growing to a mature business, and to hopefully we can build some more legacy businesses here in Saginaw. So go ahead.
Say that again. Okay, when you say, because I get excited when I hear legacy business. When you talk about legacy, share with me, what is it? What do you think of when you talk about legacy business?
Some of the legacy businesses in Saginaw are the businesses that have been able to sustain for, and I don't even want to put a year on it, but you have businesses and families who have been in businesses more than 20 years. And I'll go back. I spoke with not a young lady, but she's more mature, Miss Eddie Peggy, who first. The Peggy's, yes, that first concept of having the small malls where people can have their own store. It's similar to a little mini Black. I always tell her you have a little mini Black Wall Street right on Genesee Street in Saginaw. She started her own. Her and her husband started their own little Black Wall Street. So you have different businesses, and that's been going on for a very long time. I don't know what year they started, but I do know that I was very young, and that was one of the first Black families that I saw begin to do that for the community. They're not the only ones, but they do have a legacy business. I'm also familiar with the Williams family, who has started the Magic Kitchen. Magic Kitchen span off from being a dry cleaning business, and then they built a restaurant. And then the restaurant had a dry cleaners, and then they had a car wash within it, and then they had the barber salon. So they had their own little Black Wall Street built within it. But as I began to look out into the community, I'm going, who's going to replace them as they get older? Because now they're in their 70s, they're in their 80s. And so what it took to build those businesses, I don't know who's going to replace them, but Black Wall Street wants to serve as a resource to help some people begin to continue the legacy, here in Saginaw, because it can be difficult and it can be hard. But
okay, so I want to ask you really quick. So when we talk about you guys want to help do this, what do you mean by help? So, because I know when I think about the Pegueses, I think about they've always had a business. When I thought about the Popeyes, I know they were part of the opening of the Popeyes initially. I don't think they're still affiliated with it, but they have a lot of businesses that they've started in the community. And then I look at the generation, Shay Pegues, their daughter. If you followed her, she's been on TV. She's, has a print company. She's a hustler. So that attitude and that spirit of that entrepreneur through legacy business, whether it's the same business or not, it continues from generation to generation. So what is your goal as Black Wall Street to bring to the people? And how are you aiding them in the ability to construct from concept to fruition businesses?
There are resources here, right, in Saginaw that a lot of businesses don't know anything about. The Small Business Administration has connected with, there's a development center in Saginaw Valley. And then, of course, Saginaw City has their SEDC, which connects the small businesses with resources, whether it's monetary resources. Some people, don't even know how to get their first EIN. They don't even know the difference between a sole proprietorship and having an LLC. So some people have an idea, but they don't even know the first step. So for us, we want to begin to look at how we can help them develop that from beginning to the growth into, like we said, growing a legacy. But it's more about connecting them to the resources. I mean, that's something that I can't do alone, but there are people in the expertise of financials, where some people need to understand accounting, paying their employees, taxes, and various software that they may need to run a business, even how to run a business. We also want to look at trying to connect them with mentors, because that's another thing. Some people can't see it because they don't see anybody that looks like them that's doing it. So connecting people with mentors that say, hey, I'll bring you under my wing because this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. And we can't operate in a silo. I know Black Wall Street, it's a support system for minority-owned businesses, but we can't operate in a silo all the time. So sometimes we have to reach out to other groups to say, hey, maybe there isn't somebody that we can, that we have of color that's doing one thing. We may have to see if somebody else is willing to help. But for the most part, trying to connect people with resources and mentorship.
It's interesting. I had Puff Daddy had, we noticed this week he had, or at least last week, he announced that he's going to buy back his original brand of
Sean John.
Sean John, which I'm a Sean John fanatic. I love Sean John. But when I look at him, and I was speaking with Tiffany Elzie, who when he first started the brand was his brand senior brand manager. And I was talking with her on last week, like, yo, what does this mean? Are you excited? And she says, what I want our community to understand is that Puffy paved the way for so many people. He was the first. He came out with a clothing line. He came out with a restaurant. He came out with fragrance. He came out with an adult beverage. And, that's why, I'm not going to say it, but Jennifer Lopez, as fine as she is, she didn't understand it, but she followed that process. And we've seen so many other celebrities jump on board and follow that process.
Rode the wave and rode the coattail too, I will say that.
Absolutely. And so what you're saying is that we have individuals in our community that have the ability to pull things together. If we can set up a model, if we can create one, we can create 1,000. And so as we begin with Black Wall Street, and that's really honoring the legacy of where we come from as a people. And for those of you that are listening, I mean, I need y'all to understand, because we often talk about what we cannot do as a community. But when we look at our history, we look at, the Black Wall Street, we look at the Harlem Renaissance era, we look at, there were pockets after Reconstruction of Black people doing so many amazing things. And all we're saying is we just want to tap back into that moja, if you would, where we as Black people were working together, making great things happen. And so, Letitia, this is where I intersected with you when I first saw your Black Wall Street page. What is your hope? And we're going to talk about an event that you guys have coming up, because it is in alignment with what we're going to be doing on January 27th. When we talk about community networking, what is your hope for Black Wall Street?
Man, you know what? I just want to see people happy, successful, wealthy, connected, lifting each other up, particularly those of people of color, because, we only have each other a lot of times. Sometimes we don't have access to those other spaces. So we have to assist each other, especially if somebody has access, open the door for the next person, reach down and lift the next person up. It shouldn't just be, hey, this group or this family has. If you want us to spend our Black dollars with you, we need to be connecting with each other. It can't just be one. It has to be all, you know what I mean? So, but this is bigger than me. It's bigger than Saginaw. At the end of the day, I just wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than Saginaw, bigger than myself. Being that even my little small business, whether it succeeds or not, I wanted to be a part of something that was bigger than me,
Okay, so I want you to go ahead. Why don't you share us a little bit about what you do, your business? Because I know that I see you out there, you modeling and doing all that. I'm like, yo, what's going on, sis? What's going on? What are you doing? Tell us a little bit about what you got going on.
Let me tell you something. This is really funny. As a Black girl growing up in Saginaw, I did see people who had their own business, but I didn't see a lot of girls that looked like me in fashion. So I didn't see too many coming until maybe the late 90s. And by then I was already an adult. But in the early 80s, 90s, I always loved fashion. And so, but it was something that I did not believe in my mind. I didn't believe that I could attain it. But I did see Black teachers. I did see Black educators. So I followed.
Hey, Letitia, hold on one second. I got to interrupt you because I almost passed out when you're like, I didn't believe. You gave me that Oprah Winfrey-esque feel. That I don't know if you've been watching Oprah, but I didn't believe. You got it on you. Walk in it.
No, for real, it was a belief. I believed in my own head because I didn't see people that looked like me in fashion. So I thought it was something that wasn't open for me. So I did not get involved in it. And so I don't know. I got a little older, got a little stronger, more wiser. And so I said, you know what? I'm just going to try it all. I wanted to try fashion. I wanted to do photography. That's when I began to do the things that I enjoyed and loved. And although I'm an educator, I still have a passion for working with underserved and at-risk youth. I still do that to this day. I'm a principal. So I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm also going to do the things that make me happy when I'm not at work, which I love fashion and I want to do it in a classy, respectful way. And I still love photography. I'll take those kids' senior pictures because they can't afford them. If they can't afford them, they got me over here to take senior pictures. People who couldn't afford at one point wedding pictures, they have me over here to do some photography. So those are the things. My business is Picture This Photography and Haute Miss Couture, which is a small boutique for women. It's basically for the classic, edgy lady. I'm not into all of the super risque things, but I like for it to be modern with a little bit of edge, but classic. You know what I mean? So
yes.
Yes.
All right. Now, I got to say this. I think this is so cool because there is a kindred spirit, I think, that people who have the entrepreneur bug that they have, and it's consistent. And you got a sister out here, Millicent Bowen. This is actually, she's in Texas. and El Paso, Texas, I believe it is. And she is continually listening to Straight Talk every week. She said, "You look beautiful, sister. Thank you for working with the community and the people who need a mentor like yourself." So we certainly want to thank her for listening. But it's that spirit and it's that sound that I hear in your voice that when you were talking, I get excited. All right, because people often say to me, you know, well, dang, Kareem, I thought you were a pastor. I'm like, yeah, I am. Well, you're a business owner? Yeah, I am. You're a contractor? Yeah. Licensed and insured? Yeah, I am. And you write books? Yeah, I am. And you know, so there are all of these different, and you do training? Yes, I do. What an entrepreneur, when you are an entrepreneur, and when you have really been hit by the bug, if I don't know if it's a bug or the spirit, let's say spirit, and you have really obtained the spirit of entrepreneurship on the inside, it is this light that bursts, and I can't explain it for anyone else. It will make you, every element and every fiber of your being comes alive. So that means that the things that you love, automatically you begin to want to do everything that you can. People say you can't do everything. Why can't you?
Why can't I?
You know, there is a thread that connects all of us together. And, you know, everything that you do, Letitia, there's a thread called Letitia that keeps it all together. And when you're an entrepreneur, everything that you love to do, you want to give life to it. And you can do all of those things. You just have to find the synergy for those things where you can work smarter and not harder. What do you say about something like that?
Listen, as an educator, I'm standing before children who sometimes believe they can't. And remember, I was once that kid who believed that I couldn't. So here I am. I share with them my story of the things that I do outside of work. And they're like, wow, Ms. Whitehead, you're doing all of this. You're doing that. And I'm like, yes, and you can too. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't, you know, and just because you're in a particular neighborhood, don't feel like that your mind is only as long as the block that you live on. No, it has to be bigger. You do whatever you want to do. I tell the kids all the time, if you want to be a construction worker or own your own business, if you feel like you want to cut hair, do it all. You don't know what you're going to fall in love with, because some of it you're just going to do because you want to see if you can do it. Some of it you're going to truly love, and it's going to be something you're passionate about. So I have to motivate people's children all day long. But I remember I was once those kids. I believed that I couldn't. And that's why at the age that I'm at now, I'm trying everything that I feel like I can do. I almost feel like Superwoman. I'm like, I can do it all. You know, I can do it all. I'm over here doing my wood floors. I went and got a sander. I sanded my own floors. Guess what? I did my own my stain. I did my varnish. I did it myself.
Hey, lady. Hey, you got to slow down because you're putting people out of business. I need people to call the phone and keep ringing. No, but I love it. It's that spirit. Now, I want to make sure that you give your boutique look, because these women like, wait a minute, we want to know her boutique. Now, sister can dress. She can dress. I'll be checking you out. Elaine Cook out there said, "You go, girl."
Thank you, Elaine.
I think, okay, first of all, let's do first things first. Let's once again share your boutique and how people can access you online, because I believe you have online boutique.
Mine is strictly online, and it's www.haute, and it's the French haute, Haute, Haute Mess Couture with the K, Couture. So mine is strictly online.com. Haute Mess Couture.
Wait a minute, get that again. Hey, spell that again.
HAUTEMESSKOUTURE.com. And that's part of my manifesting my vision. I got to work on it this year because, you know, I slowed down from Haute Mess Couture with my move. And so now I have to keep my vision alive.
Okay, so instead of Hot Mess Couture, it's Haute Mess, MESS?
Right. In French, it would be Haute Miss Couture.
Haute Miss, M-I-S-S or M-I-S-S? Let me get it right.
M-E-S-S.
Okay, that's what I thought you said.
And you know, in America, we say hot mess, but it's haute. It's like couture, you know, haute mess is
Haute Mess Couture.
Yes.
All right, so we put it in the stream for those ladies that were asking and talking. There is one of our listeners, Alma Ball-College. She's a very she listens all the time. She says, Marlee loves fashion. She is 11 years old. She designs her own clothes. We got her sewing machine for Christmas. We are going to start her with sewing lessons. Hey, and what you teach that young lady is that you teach that young lady, hey, if you got it, you can make it for yourself. There's somebody else who also would love it. And so she has to begin to learn at an early age that you can create a brand. Is simply when you create something and you get other people to like it and to wear it over and over. Now you got a brand. And so you've got to be willing to fall in love with the things that you do. Mm-hmm. I am so passionate about the things that I do that someone said, I said this to someone last week. I said, I do everything that I love. There is nothing that I do right now, Letitia, that I am not entirely inspired by, that like even this conversation gets me going. If I fall in love with something, or if I think that I like something or something I want to, I do it. And I put that passion. Once you do something once, you can learn how to do it over and over again. And what I would love for my listeners that are out there to really grasp hold of is that so many times we think about stuff. If we could be successful by thinking the Black race would be the richest race on the planet. Mm-hmm. Think about things, we come up with ideas and concepts, but we never drive it all the way home. And someone else comes in and see what we're doing that we don't consider anything great. They brand it, they patent it, and they make millions. When you look at the early patents post-Reconstruction, most of them came from folks who were slaves, slave owners looking at like, hey, let me take that. They get it patent, and the slave owner has all the benefits, all of the rights to that patent. And Black folks for years have suffered because we don't follow through. Mm-hmm. So it's important for us to follow through. And one of the ways we're going to do that is that we're going to go ahead. You're going to talk, and then we're going to get to talking about what's happening on the 29th. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say I did trademark Hot Mess Couture to make sure I owned my name just in case somebody else came along. So when you talk about trademarks and patents, you know, that was one thing with the business and trying to build a brand. I wanted to make sure I owned my name.
Okay, so for those who are listening, because that's a big question, could you lead individuals if we were to have a class and people needed trademarks and patents? Do you think that you would be able to help people through that process where they could get that done?
I'm sure I could, because I did mine by myself, so I was successful.
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to make that happen. We're going to talk about that, but we're going to pivot just a little bit because you have something that's going on that I think is going to be integral to the village, because at the beginning of every year we do resolutions. I said, let's just come up with a solution. Let's talk about vision. And I believe, I'm a man of vision. I believe that vision is the way that everything that is worth having occurs in life. You are now going to be working on something coming up through Black Wall Street. Why don't you share with our listeners what that is?
So on Saturday, January 29th, we have a vision board workshop called Manifest Your Vision 2022, which is a workshop that helps anyone who has a vision, whether it's in your personal life, your business life, anybody. If you are interested in working on building some goals and setting up your vision board, a vision of what your year or even the next 3 to 5 years looks like, stop in or grab a seat or ticket with us. It's Saturday, January 29th from 12 noon to 3 p.m. And it's at the CMRCU space within the SVRCU Marketplace. It's the SVRC Marketplace spot. I'm so sorry about that.
Absolutely. All right. So you have been doing a number of events as it relates to the theme Black Wall Street, really. And I love the way that you're doing it. You're not just coming like, this is Black Wall Street, come here, but you're doing things to saturate the market with Black Wall Street. So when people hear Black Wall Street, you know, they're saying, oh, okay, this is Letitia Whitehead. This is Bob Johnson. This is, you know, those individuals that are making this happen in the community. All right. So when you why Black Wall Street? Why did you want to start Black Wall Street, and how are you growing it, and where can people find out how to get connected to Black Wall Street?
Currently it's online, so it's virtual, and the group is private. So right now it's just I want to say small group. There's about 930 people in that group, which I'll say is a great number, being that we started during the pandemic. So Black Wall Street is primarily online as a Facebook group, but what we're trying to do is more so connect with the community. That group is for people who would like to buy or sell products from businesses owned by people of color. Some people want to provide information. Some people seek information. So that is what the group is for right now. It's a support group that we hope to expand over time. And then, we'll see how things will go. That's why we're going to do this manifest your vision, because Black Wall Street, there's a vision for that. And at this time with Saginaw and what's going on in Saginaw, I think this is a great time to try to connect with our city to grow and develop our cities, particularly those businesses that are starting off fresh, because we want to build more legacy businesses in Saginaw. We have some that are going, people are closing their doors, they're shutting down some of our legacy businesses, and we need people to replace those businesses, particularly on not just the east side of Saginaw, but throughout Saginaw. So I do see some people doing some awesome things as a group, which is wonderful for the community. So hopefully we'll provide some resources and some information and some supports for some more individuals.
All right. The question is coming in from, I'm not sure, Louisiana, New Orleans. Is the vision board session going to be virtual for out of towners? If someone that is out of town is interested in be a part of it?
Guess what? I just had a young lady ask me that today, and she wants to stream. So I told her to get it together. We have 3 people that'll be hosting that event. It'll be me, myself, and Brandy Hines Jackson and Courtney Garrett. Us 3 will be doing it. Courtney would like to do the virtual piece of the vision board party. So she'll be I guess, over that part. So yes, I guess the answer is yes, ladies.
Yes. So you said social media, but let's share with them the platform, because we didn't talk about the platform via social media.
So the actual vision party is going to be, our max is 25. It's going to be in person at the CMRCU space. CMURC. I keep getting that acronym all backwards. It's CMURC within the marketplace. So it's going to be in person, and hopefully if you can give me your information, I can give you the information, Ms. Bowen. So
okay, so you are, how can they connect with you? How can they get this information? I want to come. How do we do this?
Okay, so if you are interested, you can email me at blackwallstreetsaginaw@gmail.com. So we do have
all one word.
Yep, blackwallstreetsaginaw@gmail.com. So we do have an email address, but we do have a link, and I don't have the link with me, but Kareem, is there any way that we can give you the link? And
you get it to me, I'll put it on the page, I'll put it on all of other platforms, so we get that. I'm down. I'm a member of Black Wall Street.
Yes, you are. You are a member of Black Wall Street, and we would love to hear more about what you do and some of your things that you have going on with your space and stuff. Mm-hmm. You haven't been sharing with us all of those little things you have.
You know what? But someone told me you got to walk in silence and then you present it once things are ready.
Oh, okay.
And so we are at a place that we're launching and we're creating and we're doing some great things. And what you're doing, it's in the link. I'm going to put it on the screen. Thank you so very much, Courtney Garrett. Courtney Garrett, you got some folks.
Yay, Courtney. Can Courtney say something? Courtney, she's been helping us and assisting, and I'm appreciative of Courtney assisting us. Black Wall Street, their space gave us a year's worth of office space, and I appreciate that.
Okay. We talking about year space. I want to talk about a lifetime, but we'll get to that in just a minute.
You got to start somewhere. You got to crawl before you walk. So she's going to crawl.
All right. So I want Miss Garrett, and Garrett, she is everywhere. People don't know her, and I wish that she could come into this space because
Courtney, send her a link.
I bump her. You send her the link while I'm talking real quick,
okay?
Because I see Miss Garrett in a lot of spaces, and she moves in silence, but I know that she is making so many points of contact with so many people. And if you really are trying to make your dream come true, there are some people, and she's a sister. There's some people in our community that are in places which I would call gatekeepers. They are in places where they hold not only, she says, hey, I'm here. I see you, Courtney. We're going to bring you into the stream because I want you to share some of your information. There are places and people and things that they offer opportunities and access that many of us don't realize. And many of them are people of color that have been given amazing opportunities, and we don't know it, and we don't know really how they allow us to enter into these spaces. And Courtney is one of those people. We haven't had an opportunity to just sit down and talk about things, but I know that it's happening. So we're going to talk about the vision board process. And as Courtney is preparing to come in, I just want to share really quickly with you all just some ideas. And this is the framework from which I work. And I was telling Letitia that I would really love to be a part of this. Unfortunately, while you guys are doing vision boards, I am having my vision meeting for the year for our ministry. But I thought that just the fact that we were doing those at the same time are so powerful. But I wanted to give an opportunity for her to come in and get involved. So when we talk about vision boards, what exactly are we talking about? Let's share briefly what a vision board is, Ms. Whitehead.
A vision board can be a guide, a plan, and it's a visual representation of the goals that you want to accomplish, whether it's for your personal life, your business life, but it's a visual reminder. You create that board with all of the goals in mind that you have. And some people set a goal for a year. Some people set a goal for so it can be long-term or short-term goals. So that is a vision. It's almost like that alarm clock when you're looking to see what time it is. You know, you have that board in front of you that reminds you, hey, you need to get this done. You know, you've worked on this, but you need to work on this. So for us, it's the beginning of the year, and most people start fresh at the beginning of the year. And I thought this was a great time for people to get together to say, hey, let's start working on what our goals are going to be. Let's work on them together. You know, I don't have to know what your goals are, but it's just us sitting together in fellowship saying, hey, I want to do this with people like myself, like-minded people who have some goals. So that's one of the things that we wanted to do, and that's what it'll look like. We do have the materials. You can bring yourself and your goals. The price for the workshop is $20. We will have all the materials that you need. There'll be some light food, refreshments, and music, camaraderie. I'm sure a lot of the people that come have different personalities, and let that shine while you're there, because this is your opportunity to network and have a great time with like-minded individuals. So.
And I think that this is so powerful because you're bringing, if you're bringing people and their ideas together, and you are creating, and people don't realize this, you get motivated by the energy that's in the room. Mm-hmm. Like Letitia and I are sitting here, we're having this conversation. This is via social media. We're broadcast on the radio, but I'm waiting. I am excited now, Letitia, because we've talked about meeting via social media and text and all those other things. Mm-hmm. But to now hear you and to see what you're doing and to talk about it, I'm excited to be in the room with you, because I think we don't recognize the power of being in the room when the spirit or the energy of that room is infected with people with ideas and concepts and doing things. Okay, I'm going to bring Letitia. We got
Courtney. Is Courtney in?
Yes, Courtney. I'm going to bring Courtney real quick. Okay. Courtney, how are you doing? We got about 25.2 seconds. I'm going to give you seconds to share with us what you do and how you can impact people who have a dream.
Okay, awesome. I am actually the regional manager of memberships over at CMURC, which we are a business incubator and professional co-work space. So we do help small businesses and startups to accelerate their business further. So anytime you need to take your idea to commercialization, come on over to CMURC. We can assist with that. We have partnerships with the Small Business Development, the SEDC, the SBA, anyone you can think of in the economic development area, we have those resources.
All right, real quick, Letitia, once again, gives us how we can connect with you and make this happen.
If you want to be a part of our vision board workshop, which is Manifest Your Vision 2022, go ahead and email us at blackwallstreetsaginaw@gmail.com. blackwallstreetsaginaw@gmail.com.
Okay, and if you cannot afford it, which I think is crazy, the amount that they're asking, you got to take a risk and do it. But I'm willing, Letitia, to sponsor a few people that are interested in coming to that vision board party. We're going to make sure that we get that virtual, because I think if you're going to broadcast that, stream that virtual, we go from 25 to 125. Let's get everybody inspired, connected, and that is what the power of networking is. I've got to prepare to get out of here. And I want one last thing that I'm going to share. I want to thank you ladies for being here. We'll bring you back as we get closer to that date. But I want to leave you all with the final thoughts from Harriet Tubman. Every great dream begins with the dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passions to reach for the stars and change the world. This has certainly been an amazing time of a fellowship and networking with you all. I hope you guys are empowered and ready to impact those of you out there. Take care of yourselves and each other. God bless you all. Grace and peace.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Courtney.
You've been listening to Straight Talk with Kareem Bowen on KISS 107.1.
Those who are in the stream, we can continue to have this conversation. I'm asking ladies some questions, okay, while we're here.
Its guest,
There'll be an after show. My first after show ever. I never even thought about it.
This station,
okay, the after
staff,
show.
its owners, Alpha Media USA, or its advertisers.
KISS 107.1 is WTLZ Saginaw with Steve Harvey in the morning and
Thank you so much, Rob. All right, so for those who are listening, thank you, Miss Geraldine. She happens to be my mother, Born Walker. They said great shows. I think you guys put out some powerful content. So I want to just give a few seconds here for those who are going to follow this stream and figure out what's going on. Courtney, what is the number one thing that you find people coming in that are needing assistance with when they're looking to start a business?
They are looking for resources, so connections to service providers that are in the area. So that's one thing about CMURC. We have multiple different service providers. That means IP attorneys, graphic designers, website designers, CPAs, anything that could assist an entrepreneur to move their business further. We have those resources and we connect you to those people.
Let me tell you why it's important for you to be here, Courtney. It's important for you to be here. And thank you, Letitia, for moving them fingers so fast. I couldn't have did it to get her in here. But I think that it's important because when people see SVRC, we often think, and I'm going to say it because I don't have no sense. We think the man. And so you are not the man. As a matter of fact, you are a woman and you are a business woman. And you're a woman of color. And I think that that's important because so many times when we see that building, we see that location, we think, man, this is a woman. This is the man doing this. They're just trying to get us in. But there are behind the scenes that are making connections with the community, that are making things happen and giving access are beautiful women of color like yourselves that are making this happen. So I want to say thank you. So Letitia, where do we go next with what you're doing? So you're having this networking event. Courtney, are there other things coming up that people need to know about that are good for this community? What's happening?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, there's multiple different things. I can just speak on some different pieces that are happening inside of the CMURC space. SEDC has a monthly mixer every month, every third Wednesday of the month, where entrepreneurs come together and they network. And then sometimes there's multiple different topics, whether it's the BDC speaking or just speaking on different topics that would assist entrepreneurs in their business. And then also with Black Wall Street, there's going to be some different events coming up throughout the year where we're looking to do some networking mixers and getting entrepreneurs together for our own little business after hours. So you'll be able to see those coming soon. Yeah. And a large event coming in 2023. So just kind of keep your eyes and ears out because it's going to happen.
All right. Well, I want you to know, and we probably need to get together. For those that are listening, this has been some amazing information, a great conversation. Courtney and Letitia, I'm going to reach out to you guys this week because I was asked actually to do something that is in the line of bringing Black businesses together and giving some support from some of what I consider the key holders in the community. And I don't believe in reproducing services. That's why networking and community and working together, collaboration is so important. So I want to make sure that we connect to do that. But I also want to ask Courtney that someone said this is exciting.
Oh, thank you.
Hey, it is exciting when Black people get together and we start talking about making a real difference. That's powerful. But I also want to make sure that Courtney, you and Letitia are a part of that community networking piece that we're going to be doing on the 27th, even if you just got to be able to chime in virtually like you're doing right now, because I think that people need to know that as we're talking about what's happening in Saginaw and we see, the larger counterparts of the community making things happen, white America making things happen, that there are Black citizens that are also making things happen in the community. And so we need to be able to come together. If we can begin to pool our talent, our resource, and our ingenuity together, we become an unstoppable force. And I sincerely believe that. And I'm so encouraged, I really am, by the number of Black women who are doing their thing. You sisters represent a new direction for our country. I mean, Black men are doing things. We were always given an opportunity to do things when you weren't, but you guys are carpe diem, seizing the moment and taking the bull by its horns and not willing to take no for an answer. And I'm encouraged and inspired by your stories and your testimony. Is there anything that you guys would like to share before we close out this particular session? And Courtney, since you were the last one to the party, I'll let you go first.
All right. Just want to share if anyone is interested in needing any, assistance with resources, or we do have an awesome program that kind of helps your idea, takes your idea from idea to commercialization straight through a process. You can find me at the SVRC Marketplace. CMURC is on the second floor. Again, I am the regional manager of memberships. We have 4 locations: Bay City, Midland, and Mount Pleasant, as well as Saginaw. And I can assist with any location that you can help with your needs. So just reach me again at CMURC inside of SVRC Marketplace.
Awesome. And Letitia?
Hey, I was just going to say, if there's anyone out there who is an entrepreneur, or if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur and you're a person of color or minority business, hey, join Black Wall Street. It's on Facebook. It's a Facebook group right now. But like I said, we are trying to do some outreach to get more people in and take it more out into the community to gather some more resources. Thank you so much, Courtney, for connecting with Black Wall Street. I appreciate that. So if you want to join, just stop in or email us. I mean, hey, it's just a fun, lively group right now, and we've been trying to make things happen with each other and look for some more new networking events for 2022. We're going to manifest our vision for Black Wall Street from now into the future. We don't know what it's going to look like, but we can see it.
All right, ladies, I want to say something to you. There's a lady that's watching right now. She just posted a comment to the stream. It says, so proud of these young ladies. When we talk about Black business and entrepreneurs, Jackie Wade Day, she has been an essential force in my life in terms of getting things done. She had a business called J&D Promotions. She was the business partner of Magic Johnson's mom. Okay. And so she literally has connections around the world. Aww. So when we get to the point, and we want to talk about, and she's 70 plus, 74 years old, but she is yet making it happen, yet doing great things. She is literally connected to everybody on the planet. I sincerely believe this, y'all. So as you guys begin to think about that, that's a contact and a relationship that I have that has been such a steady force. Taking me to to the Bahamas to meet with prime ministers and doing camps it's just, the possibilities are endless. And she's saying nothing like networking. I want to make sure that you guys have an opportunity to connect to her, because she would be able to bring in so much talent to what we're trying to do in the city of Saginaw. And once again, kudos. January 27th is the community networking event at 6 p.m. at KBS, Creative Business Solutions. On the 29th, we are at SVRC. At what time is that again?
12 noon to 3 o'clock p.m.
That's for those of you who take the time out now and get your tickets taken care of.
That's correct.
All right.
Yeah.
But if not, you can also, they're going to offer a virtual component. That means that you won't miss out. I need you to get in the space. I need you to go Black Wall Street Saginaw. I need you to like, tag, and share. There's about 32, 34, 4,300 people that are part of this page. Y'all go over there and like that page if you are an entrepreneur. Don't go over there just to be nosy. But if you got business, you want to provide business, you need solutions, because people come in and they ask questions like, hey, is there a person of color? Do we have a Black business that does plumbing? Is there a Black business? And so it is a place and a resource and a tool. Yes, and so what are tools for? To build things. So let's make sure that we're building this and making great things happen. I want to thank you all for your time and your attention on this evening. You all be blessed. Have a great evening. Ladies, have a good night.
Thank you. And good night, everybody.